everyone. Welcome to the Dog Mom Knits podcast, episode 27. My name is Amanda, and you can find me on Instagram as Dog Mom Knits, on Ravelry as Dog Mom Knits 08, and we do have an email address for this podcast, and that is dogmomknits@gmail.com. I am coming to you from coastal Virginia, where I live with my husband, Sean, and our two dogs, Copper and Finley. This is a knitting podcast where I share all about my crafty life and how that crafty life interweaves with my regular life, everyday life. I don't know. What am I gonna... Hi! Finley's coming. Come here. Come here. Come here. Nope. She's like, I don't want to be picked up. But I want to be picked up. But I want to be picked up on my own terms and not on your terms. Okay, there she is. This is Finley. Say hi to everybody. Say hi, friends. Oh my goodness. Say, friends, all I do is sleep, but it's never enough sleep. You're crazy. Mommy, that's you. Mommy, that's you, me. Okay, where were we? What were we talking about? Let me look down at my notes. I will have links to my Ravelry Project page and everywhere that you can find me, and everything that I talk about will be linked in the drop bar below. But if I forget anything or if you have any questions, please send me an email. I love interacting with you guys and chatting back and forth with you, even if it's just you sending me an email or a direct message on Instagram and telling me what you're working on. I just think that's amazing and I love it, and I would love, so if you want to send me an email or send me a direct message on Instagram, I will respond. Okay, Fiend, you gonna sit here the whole time? Today is July 10th. It is Monday, July 10th. This will post on Wednesday, July 12th. As I said, it is episode 27 of the podcast. That is so exciting. I am off my game having a dog sitting in my lap. What you doing? Do you want to get on the floor while I podcast? No? You sweet girl. I am wearing my Dog Mom Life shirt. It has a paw print, a coffee cup, and then a ball of yarn with knitting needles. This is on my Spreadshirt shop, which will be linked down below. And I also have one that is the same, but the ball of yarn has a crochet hook instead of knitting needles. And they both say Dog Mom Life because this is my life. Why be able to do crafty things when you could be able to hold a dog? Right? Okay, you have to go down. Yes, you have to go down. Mommy loves you. Go cuddle with your brother. Copper and Finley have been snuggled up in the bed that's over there on the other side of the living room. And for some reason, as soon as I hit the record button, she was like, "What you doing, Mama?" And she came over, which she doesn't usually do. Okay, so I am looking down at my notes in my handy dandy notebook. If you have been here before, you have seen this before. Oh yeah, I guess I should say that. Thank you to all of my returning viewers. I really appreciate you guys coming back every 2 weeks to see what I have been up to. And if you are a new viewer, please leave a comment. Let me know you're here, you're new, what you think of the content. I like making new friends. So please leave a comment below if you are new. Subscribe if you like what you see. All that stuff that makes YouTube be nice to content creators. I don't even know. Algorithms and all that stuff. Like, I don't have any idea what that is. Okay, so I'm really off my game today. I had everything planned in my head, like how I was going to start the whole thing. And then somehow Finley came over here and set me off my game. Okay, so let's just get into finished objects, because then maybe I'll have an idea of what I'm doing. Finished objects. if you follow me on Instagram, you know that this has been the summer of finishing socks. I am so excited for all of the socks that I am completing and have completed in the last 4 weeks or so since summer started. I have cast on quite a few, so, you know, that whole idea of like, I'm going to have all my sock needles back. No, I don't. We'll get to that in whips though. But I do have 2 finished pairs of socks. And then I'll update you on the make-alongs that I'm doing as well. So the first pair of socks that I finished is this pair. This is such a fun pair of socks. I love them. These I'm calling Simon's Welcome to America socks. So my husband and I host exchange students. If you are new here, we have hosted 3 young ladies. Misha from Poland, Mary from the Ukraine, and Daria from North Macedonia. And this August, we will welcome Simon from the Czech Republic to our home. And one of the things that I have done for all of the kiddos, except Misha, because I was not a big sock knitter when Misha got here in 2019. But one of the things that I have done for the other 2, Mary and Daria, is knit them a pair of socks to be on their bed and like in their Welcome to America gift basket when they get here. So I did the same for Simon. This is Zebra Yarns, the red, white, and blue. So the main skein is the red and white stripes, and then the blue is a mini skein that came with it. I knit these during the Zebra Yarns 4-day knit along. So you cast on July 1st, try to finish a pair of socks by July 4th. And with 15 minutes to spare, I was able to finish. I really thought, like, there was a big part of me on July 3rd that thought there's no way these are going to get done because I was just starting the second sock. And then on July 4th, I was like, I really want to finish these. Like, I really want to, like, meet the goal and finish the socks and not have a whip carry over because the Stephen West No Long is starting and Sock Week is coming. And so I was like, let's just power through. And I finished the socks at 11:45 p.m. on July 4th. But that's okay because I finished. I did 56 stitches. US 1.5s, so smaller than I do for Sean and I, my husband Sean and I, but he only wears a medium-sized shirt, so I'm thinking 56 stitches. I did the Stack of Books pattern by Sock Witchery, which is a ribbed sock pattern, so I think they will stretch or contract as he needs them to. I did the slip stitch heel flap that's called for in the pattern. And I asked Simon what size shoe he wears. And he told me in European. And when I converted it to American, it was US men's size 11. So, yes. The same size I knit for my husband, actually. So that was fun. Knitting and knitting and knitting. But these were really great. I love this pattern. I love the 2 patterns of Lindsay's that I do the most often. And you'll actually see Lindsay of Sock Witchery. You'll actually see the other one that I always do for Sean, which is the String of Lights pattern. And a little bit in my whips. But I love the ease of those patterns, of her patterns. But I love like the effect of her patterns. So anyway, these are Simon's Welcome to America socks. I love that. See the heel? They're so good. Anna's yarn is amazing. I'm checking my notes. Yeah, I think that's it for what I was going to tell you about these. They're just really great. And I am so excited to have these on his bed with his Old Navy July 4th shirt from this year. And we've got a couple of other things planned that we are going to have as his, like in his little Welcome to America basket on his bed. So, yeah. So that's my first finished object. My second finished object is also a pair of socks. I finished my Sock Week 2022 socks. So I started these socks on July 10th, 2022. I knit one of them, and I'm not sure which one, but I knit one of them as part of Sock Week with Nitty Natty, the knit along that she hosts every year. I knit one of them. Why is it puckering right there? Why does it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I knit one of them during Sock Week of 2022, and for some reason cast on the second one and never finished it. I don't know what happened, but anyway. And I did not want to have Sock Week 2022 socks on the needles as I was getting ready to cast on my Sock Week 2023 socks. So I tried really hard to just get these done. When I picked up the second sock, again, I don't remember which one is which, but I was up here, like I was like only 20 or 30 rounds into the leg. And I picked them back up and just kind of put them back in rotation. And then they went really fast. This is the OMG heel pattern by Megan Williams. 64 stitches on a US 1.5. I did knit these for me. The yarn is a sponsor yarn from last year. It's from Yarn Over New York, and it's called Tiger Eye Shark. And I got it, and I don't think it's going to show, but I got it on the glitter base. So there's a little bit of stellina in there, but there you can see kind of the striping that it did at my gauge, which I thought was really cool. This was the very first time that I knit the OMG heel. I learned about it during Sock Week last year from one of the interviews that Natalie of Nitty Natty did with Boston Jen. And this was kind of the kickoff of like the only heel that I will knit for myself now is the OMG heel. Because it is a kind of modified slip stitch heel. I don't know if it's going to show up very well, but it does have a slip stitch and then a heel turn, but everything happens, well, I don't want to give too much away, but like the way it fits is it fits like a hybrid slip stitch heel and like a slip stitch heel flap and then a short row heel. So a short row heel for me is a little too tight, and a full slip stitch heel is a little too big. So this kind of hybrid between the two it fits me really, really well. So I'm really excited that this sock is kind of what introduced me to what ended up being my favorite heel pattern. So Sock Week 2022. Oh, I said when I started, I didn't say when I finished. So I started these on July 10th of 2022 and finished them on July 6th of 2023. So just snuck them in before Sock Week 2023 got going. And I do have my Sock Week yarn and project here, like as one of my whips to show you guys. So I am participating in 3 make-alongs right now. The Splash Pad Party with Boston Jen, Summer Sock Camp with Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, and then the Make 9 Challenge with Amy of Noble Character Crafts. So both of those finished objects counted for all 3 of the make-alongs that I am participating in. So I have a page in my notebook for each of them, and I thought I would update you guys. So this is my Splash Pad Party entries, and the checks just mean that I have entered them because there's a Google form that you fill out. This is what I have entered so far for Summer Sock Camp. And then my Make 9 boards are in the front of my notebook because I started those way back at the beginning of the year. And you can see, if I can hold it where you can see it, there it is. My sock board is getting a lot of love. And I will post a picture here of what that sock board looks like now. that it has gotten so much love, which is pretty cool. Last year I made a Make 9 board and I didn't really do a whole lot with it. Like, I don't remember even like really. I know I didn't finish it, but I don't even remember how far I got on it. So I'm excited that that sock board only has 3 more whips, which is pretty exciting. Not that I don't have more sock whips than that, but those were the sock whips that had carried over from 2022. So the ones I really wanted done. So I think that's it for finished objects. So we're going to move on to whips. I'm going to be showing 5 of them. 3 of which are new cast-ons. The first whip that I'm going to show you is in a new bag. My husband made this sweater size bag for me. My husband is the guy who sews on Instagram and YouTube, but he made this bag for me with all these cute little hearts, heart-shaped balls of yarn. And then it's red on the inside to match the red hearts on the outside. Because the bag that I was holding this in was too small, and he was like, hey, do you want me to make you a bigger bag? And I was like, what kind of question is that? Of course I want you to make me a bigger bag. And so he did. And this is my summer lounging top by Joji Locatelli. I started this on June 13th of 2021. And it has been getting a lot of work this summer. I am very excited about the progress that I have made on this sweater. And I have quite a bit to talk to you about. It's not done. It's still in the needles, but I have a lot to talk to you about. So this is my summer lounging top. I'll do a pan up. There you go. So you can see it. You can actually see the sleeve now with all the ends that I haven't woven in, but this is how the sleeve works. There's just a little bit of ribbing over here, but it's actually laying where you can see it. I haven't picked up for the neckband yet. And then you've got this kind of ribbing over here for the other armhole, but this is it. The last time I showed this, I had knit 11 inches from the armhole down, which the pattern calls for 14 inches. So during the week, I think it was like Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday because it was during my knit group on Zoom. I realized I was at 14 inches. And I was like, okay, my plan was that I was going to put it on barber cords, which is like these, like, basically like try it on tubing, I think it's called sometimes. I was going to put it on that, block it. Well, let me back up. I put it on barber cords and tried it on. And when I tried it on, I have like notes here because I've been keeping notes on this clipboard. When I tried it on, it was at 14 inches. I wanted 5.5 more inches for it to be the length that I would like, because I am very much somebody that likes wearing more kind of, I guess, tunic style or longer. I do not like anything cropped, and this is not what I would call a cropped pattern. But it's still not, like, 14 inches wasn't going to do it for me. So I blocked it. I wet blocked it because that's how I will wash it. So I completely submerged it in water and then laid it flat, and it grew 1.5 inches. And so I waited for it to dry completely, remeasured it, and it grew 1.5 inches, and I wanted 4 more inches. So that was exactly right. Like, that was good. I was like, okay, that math works out. So it was 14 inches. I wanted 5.5 more. After blocking, it was 15.5 inches, and I wanted 4 more. Because what I was doing was I would put it on and I would stand up straight so that I wasn't like bent over and kind of making more, you know, because when you bend over, you make the front of your sweater longer. So I stood up straight and I put my hand where I wanted the sweater to stop. And I had my husband use my, hold on, it's like right here, use my tape measure. She's so cute, little black sheep. To figure out how many more inches I wanted. So it started at 14, or I stopped knitting at 14. It grew 1.5 inches, so I wanted 4 more inches. So I'm going to knit to 19.5 inches, which I think is going to mean there's not a ton of ribbing on the bottom of this sweater. So I think I'm going to knit to 19 inches and then start the ribbing. So I've got 3.5 more inches of just plain stockinette, excuse me, to get me to a length that I think will be really comfortable for me, and something that I will wear. The fit is glorious. It's a little oversized, like a little big after blocking, especially underneath the arms, but I can just take some waste yarn and like cinch together some of this ribbing, like, you know, just seam it together a little bit, and it will not be a problem at all. It fits great through the shoulders. It fits great through the bust. It fits great through the hips. Like it, I have been a knitter for 10 years. This is my first garment that I have gotten this far. I had like one garment, one sweater that I knit like a couple inches of, but it was a cardigan. And I realized that I'm not going to purl every other row of a cardigan. Like, I don't like purling that much. I like knitting. I don't like purling. But I was so scared to knit a garment that was like this, where like it has to fit, because, you know, cardigan, it's like, oh, if it doesn't close, you can still wear it. So if you knit it too small, it's not that big a deal. If you knit it too big, it's just oversized. This is going to look bad if it's like obviously the wrong size, or if my gauge is completely off and I'm not getting the inches that I need or whatever. And I have been so nervous. And my friend Christina that I met through the Love and Stitches membership, she is a garment knitter and just such an amazing wealth of knowledge when it comes to knitting garments. And she was like, you can do it. Don't worry about it. She gave me a ton of tips. She has, like, I've been messaging her like, okay, this is where I'm at. What does this gauge mean? Like all this stuff. Anyway, she has been such a blessing. I'll link her Instagram down below. If you are a garment knitter or you want to be a garment knitter, I highly recommend you follow her on Instagram and just soak up the knowledge that she has. But anyway, it fits beautifully. Like I said, it's a little big, not a big deal. I'm going to wear something under it anyway, so that'll give me that freedom to do that. I'll cinch the armholes a little bit closed. Not a big deal at all. My goal when I started this in 2021 was to have it finished for the first day of school in 2021. Then I took it back out in 2022, was like, I'm going to finish it and have it ready for the first day of school in 2022. Took it out in 2023 and was like, maybe this is the year. And I think it is. I think this is the year that the first day of school, I'm going to be in a hand knitted garment. And I am so excited. I love it. I already know what I'm wearing under it. I have a beautiful kind of off-white shirt with a collar. So I think that would look really cute. Some khaki pants. First day of school. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Can you tell how excited I am? So, yeah. This is my summer lounging top by Joji Locatelli. I picked it back up. I just took it off the barber cords last night. Got very frustrated with those barber cords. Could not figure out how to do it. And it was like, I watched a couple of videos on YouTube and it was like, you just put the barber cord on, you just pull it and it'll pull right through. It did not. I pulled and it snapped the barber cord in half. was like, ah! And Sean just took it from me and was like, give it here before you rip out the entire sweater because you're frustrated. And he put it back on the stitches for me. Like, he put the stitches back on the needles for me. It was totally user error. Like, I was just struggling with, anyway, I just was struggling. I could not figure out what I was supposed to do and how I was supposed to do it. And he was like, just give it here. Before you, like, because I was like, just, anyway, it was going in timeout. And I did not want it in timeout because I want it finished. Look how good it looks. Oh, I'm so excited. And it's so soft. So, oh, I didn't even talk about that. So the yarn I am using is Elsbeth Lavold Silky Wool. I got this at my local yarn store, which is Baba Sheep. It is 45% wool, 35% silk, 20% nylon. When I knit with it, I feel the wool quite a bit. When I wear it, I feel the silk. It's definitely softer after blocking. So it is back on its needles. I'm using a US 7, which is called for in the pattern. I got gauge with the recommended needle size, which was impressive because I knit very tight. What else? Oh, I'm knitting a size 62 bust, which is like the pattern calls for 10 inches of positive ease. So I picked a 62-inch bust. This is I'm sorry, I'm looking down at my notes for everything I wanted to tell you guys. This is my 30 minutes of knitting a day. So every morning I read the Bible for 30 minutes. I have a Bible plan and a podcast that I listen to. And so this is what I'm knitting on because it's just mindless, around and around and around and around. And it is so amazing how much you can get done if you just sit down and knit on one project for 30 minutes every day. I just wanna. That's so funny to me. I'm just like, I'm wearing my sweater, even though I'm not really wearing it. Anyway, so this has been my 30 minutes of knitting. It wasn't, obviously, because it was drying and took like 2 days for it to dry. But now that it's back on the needles, this will go back to being my 30 minutes of knitting every day. It's so pretty. I love this thing. I'm so excited. So I'm going to have a finished garment. Who am I that I'm actually going to be able to wear something that I have knit to school? So exciting. So anyway, so excited. So that's, I don't know how many times I can say I'm so excited without it sounding crazy redundant, which it probably already does sound crazy redundant. I'm sorry, you guys. So that's my first whip, probably the one I am the most excited about, and the one that is, yeah, it's like the first thing I reach for in the morning because I sit down, like I said, I listen to the Bible and I knit on my sweater and I love it. And of course, I already, you know, while I was waiting for that to dry, I started planning the next sweater. Because that's what you do, apparently, when you're a sweater knitter, which apparently I am now. But I already know that my next sweater is going to be, and I'll put a picture of it up here, the Vibes Tee by Tiff Nealon. I think I'm saying that name correctly. It is short sleeve, fairly cropped. Again, mine will probably not be cropped. I don't think I'll make it as long as this one, but I won't crop it as much as she does. But there are notes in the pattern for, because I've already bought the pattern, there are notes in the pattern for how to make it longer. It uses 4 colors. So I knew at the beginning of the year that I was going to frog my Twists and Turns shawl by Stephen West, the mystery knit along from last November. I had bought 5 skeins of Emma's yarn. It was a kit that was put together by Four Pearls Yarn Shop, which is a yarn shop in Florida. I found them on, like, I Googled kits for twists and turns and found them. And the kit was 2 skeins of this blue, which is called Blue Blazer, 2 skeins of this gray with a couple pops of yellow, like some dark gray, light gray, and yellow, which is so beautiful. And this is called Orbit. And a skein of like a gold color, which is called Wish You Were Beer. All Emma's yarn, I'm pretty sure it's 75-25. It's her sock yarn. It might be an 80-20 actually. And I knew I was going to repurpose that. I thought I was going to repurpose that yarn into a Glacial Light tee, which I had seen Kim of 3 by the Sea Designs knit. And then I found this Vibes tee and I was like, okay, that's it. I needed obviously one more color. So I went looking for Emma's yarn, ended up back on the Four Pearls Yarn Shop website because they have a ton of Emma's yarn. And that's when I noticed that this Orbit has little hints of yellow. And I was like, well, maybe I can find a yellow that matches, at least, you know, from the computer screen. And I found a color that's called Buttonwood, which is like a very like pretty pale yellow. And then I love in the sample, the like really bright pop of pink that she has in the sweater. And I found Barbie Girl, which again, Emma's yarn. So I made a little collage, which I'll put up here, just to see how at least from my phone, how the colors would look together. And it looks really cute. So I only need 1 skein of each of the Buttonwood and the Barbie Girl. I need 2 skeins of Blue Blazer and Orbit, which is what I have. And they're on their way. They were shipped the same day I ordered them, which is so amazing to me. That happened last time when I ordered the Twists and Turns kit. I am not going to cast this on yet. I am going to finish the summer lounging top first. And then this will be the next thing that I start. I did, however, while the Twists and Turns, no, that's not right. While the summer lounging top was drying, I started the swatch for this top. So I am doing the like fake in the round where you just carry really long floats. I cast on a lot of stitches. I think I cast on like 50 or 60 stitches. And I'm just knitting away. This is what the fabric looks like. I started on US 7s. No, 6s. Because that's what the pattern called for. And then we'll see how my gauge is. And then I'll end up messaging Christina and asking her what the heck I'm supposed to do. Because I never remember which, like, if you're over the number of stitches, you go down. If you're under, you go over. Or is it the other? Anyway, I never remember. But Christina remembers. So for right now, this is in my JD Studios bag that I got last year during, let's see. Nope, that doesn't even have writing on it. Oh my goodness, professional podcaster. I got this during the pigskin party. It's what my Twists and Turns was in, so I have it in there now, but it's not going to be big enough. But again, this will not be on the needles by the time this gets cast on, so I just plan on this going into that. So I'm not to the point yet where I'm ready to have multiple garments on the needles. I kind of just like the idea of there being one t-shirt. I do have another like full sweater on the needles. But I'm just not at the point yet where I'm like, yes, I can have 2 t-shirt, like tees or tops, short sleeve, whatever. Anyway. Who even knows what'll happen the next time you guys see me. I might have like 4 of them cast on by the next time you see me. Okay. So that's 2 of the 5 whips that are, I don't know if I said this, but I'm only showing you my active whips, which is crazy to me that there are 5 of them. Like, anyway. So 2 so far, 2 sweaters that are, or tees, tops, and then their other 3 are socks, because of course they are. It is Sock Week, which is a knit along hosted by Nitty Natty. So I pulled out my shark bag with my pin from 3 by the Sea and is it Stitchery & Co? This is the logo from Sock Week last year. But I pulled this out because this is what I always have my Sock Week bags in. My Sock Week socks in, excuse me. I am knitting. I bought the colorway from Obsession Yarns, which I have been typing into Instagram and realized that I cannot spell the word obsession. Ever. I always type it and then it like puts the little red line and I have to like go back and fix it because I cannot remember that it's OBS. I always want to do OBCESS. For those of you that are new here, I am an English teacher. I teach spelling. Anyway, I bought the Obsession Yarns in the colorway Enchanted, and I bought the sock set. So this is the mini that came with it. There we go. So beautiful. And then this is the main skein of yarn, which is stunning. And this is what I have so far. So again, it's Monday. So Sock Week started yesterday. I cast on the cuff during the midnight cast on party because I am in the, I bought the like events package. And so I cast on 64 stitches. This is on a US 1 because I mentioned on the last podcast that I think my gauge has changed, and I am knitting looser than I used to. And so I think that I need my socks on a US 1, but I'm going to try it. And then someone commented, and thank you so much, and I did not check who it was, that maybe I don't need to go down a needle size. Maybe I just need to drop down a couple of stitches. So instead of knitting 64 stitches on a US 1.5, maybe I need to be 60 stitches on a US 1.5. And that is something to consider. So I'm going to try these on the US 1s. This is 64 stitches on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle, and then see how they fit. Maybe try a 60 stitch on US 1.5 and compare them and see how it feels. So this is what I've done so far. I am knitting the Morning Coffee Socks by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. I am putting stitch markers every repeat instead of every 10 rounds. And then I have my cute little progress keeper from 3 by the Sea Designs. That is a shark. It's so cute. So these are going to get quite a bit of love. My goal for Sock Week is to finish this pair of socks by Sunday. So in the 8 days that the make along happens. It shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I just knit Simon socks in 4 days, so I should be able to do it. I'm hopeful that I can do it. I wrote down my plan for Sock Week. So how I'm going to knit sock number 1 and then how I'm going to knit sock number 2. I am on track so far. Which, considering it's the second day, is probably a good thing. I made a little graphic for myself too so that I can post it on Instagram, and I'll put that up there. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to my notes. But yeah, I have a lot going on right now, which I'll talk about in life stuff, and just, you can tell, 5 active whips. So I'm hopeful that I can get that pair of socks done. It would be really nice to get them done. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous that I was going to be able to keep up with everything else that I have going on. So, but that's going. I also started on Thursday, which was July. Well, the pattern came out on the 6th. I started it on the 7th. The Stephen West surprise sock along, because I love Stephen West. I love a knit along. I love a mystery knit along. Check all the boxes. I wasn't going to do it because I have a lot going on. And then my best friend was like, you should do it. You should do it. And I was like, why are you going to do it? Like, we could do it together. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do it, but I want you to do it so I can see what it looks like. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Why not? So this is my Stephen West is in my Adore Knits Splash Pad Party bag. I love this bag because it's boxed bottom. It's a sock size, but it's really tall. So you need 2 100-gram skeins of yarn. And so this was perfect for that. If you are trying to avoid spoilers, this is going to come out on Wednesday. This next clue's coming out Thursday. So shouldn't be an issue. But if you are avoiding spoilers, fast forward here. I'll put a little, maybe like timestamp if I can figure out how to do that, to show you guys. Well, let me show you my yarn first and then we'll do that. I am using 2 skeins of ginger snap yarn. These, he wanted heavy contrast. So this is what I'm using. They are both ginger snap yarn. Okay, the tags are in here. I just have to remember which one is which. Oh, where is the other tag? BRB.
A few moments later.
So I'm using ginger snap yarns. The green is called Weather. And the brown is called, I'm going to mispronounce this, phlogiston. Something to do with combustion that has been debunked as like it's not a real thing. Like they thought it was in the 1800s, but they figured out that it isn't. Because I had to go and look it up because I was like, what is this? But they're dust fingering 75-25. I had both of these in my stash and I liked the idea of using the yarn from the same yarn dyer and the same base because I didn't know. I mean, it's Stephen West. Like we could do anything with these socks. And so having them be the same base wasn't something I was looking for, but it was a nice bonus when I found these two and saw how well they could work together. So my husband split them for me. So I have 2 50-gram cakes of the phlogiston. I'm not saying that right. And 2 50-gram cakes of Weather. Like I said, I have finished clue number 1 of sock 1. So again, fast forward if you don't want any spoilers. But this is sock 1. I am going to do the right and left sock. So this is the right sock. It is, the man is a genius. Like, who does this? Whose brain does this except Stephen West? It is so gorgeous. And I have decided that what I'm going to do for sock number 2, I was thinking about this when I was knitting the cuff. I am going to, forgive me math people, I think it's called inverse. I'm going to do an inverse. So for the right sock, it's going to be Weather as the main color and phlogiston as the contrasting color. And then for sock number 2, which is the left sock, I'm going to do phlogiston as the main color and Weather as the contrasting color. So basically I'm going to have 1 green sock with brown and 1 brown sock with green. I just think that would be really fun. And I like the way the 2 colors are playing off of each other. I don't prefer one over the other. And so I just thought it would be kind of fun to do them. Is it an inverse? Do an inverse of each other. So, yeah. So I finished clue 1 Saturday, right, the day before sock week started. So then I wanted to get my sock week socks started, and then try to figure out how I'm going to have time to keep up with this and have the second one, because I want to knit them, like, by the time clue 2 comes out, I have both clue 1s done. So that by the time the knit along ends, I have a pair of socks instead of just one sock, because that's going to be the end of August. I go back to school on August 10th, and it would be nice not to carry, I mean, I'm starting a ton of projects. It would be nice not to carry a ton of whips with me into the school year. So we'll see. So at some point I need to get that second sock started. And it may be that I just stay behind, you know, until next week when sock week is done, and I'm not kind of giving all of my, or not all of my attention, but a lot of my attention to the sock week socks, and then I can catch up with Stephen West's knit along. I think that's, you know, an idea that I had in my head that might work, just to kind of give myself permission to, bless you, husband, give myself permission to kind of take it easy this week with these, because I know I want the 2 sock week socks done. So see how it goes. I do every year, my husband, who is a quilter, enters something into the state fair. I, for the past 2 years, have entered something into the state fair. And with how these are turning out, I think these socks, the Stephen West Secrets Sock Along, I think is what he's calling it, the contrast blast socks, I think these are going to be my state fair entry this year, because they're amazing. So yes, the last whip that I'm going to show you is what I was knitting on when I pulled it out as my Bible knitting when my sweater was drying, because I didn't cast on the swatch for the Vibe sweater right away. It's in a Christmas bag because it is a Christmas project left over from last year. My husband made me this bag because I love to bake during the holidays. And these are a pair of socks for him, for my husband. I am using the Tropical Christmas yarn from 3 by the Sea Designs. My husband is Australian, if you are new here. So Christmas happens in summer when it is 100 and some degrees. So Tropical Christmas seemed very fitting for him. I started these on October 5th of 2022. I was through the heel when I picked them up, through the heel and the gusset, and I have knit the foot this week. It is ready for the toe. This is what they look like. I am using the String of Lights pattern from Sock Witchery. I always do the String of Lights pattern for my husband because the ribbing of the sock helps it to fit him really well. And you can see the really fun, like red and green for Christmas, but then that orangey sun beach kind of tropical thing is just really, really pretty. So these will probably go back away for a while until, I don't know. Probably not a good idea to put them away and not have a plan. But anyway, these are, yeah, they're likely going to go away for a little while because I have my Bible knitting back with my lounging top, and I really, really, really want that one done. So it may be that these just kind of go back into the sock whips and stay there for a little while. But I was working on them, so I wanted to show them to you. And he loves them, and I am excited to have them I have one of them done. It is just the first sock that's done. I have nothing. I haven't even cast on the second sock yet. So I have the toe and a whole leather sock to knit. So maybe they'll be ready for this Christmas. I have a pair of socks for my mom that I also started last year and want to get done for Christmas. Maybe after sock week, I need to prioritize those 2 socks. Because they're Christmas yarns, like Christmas presents. And it would be nice to have them done before school starts so that I don't have to like stress about them during the school year. So maybe that's the next 2 that really need to get focused on after sock week. Finish Sean's, finish Mom's. I think that's probably a good idea. Because I know when school starts, things are going to be crazy. Because they always are. That's it for current whips. So I have 2 acquisitions. So let's chat about those next. If you watch Natalie, who is Nitty Natty here on YouTube, who has 11 Stitches podcast, you will have seen these Cottontail Farms little bags. I guess it's a bag. It's like a little pouch. That's probably a better word for it, is a pouch. And Cottontail did an update, and I was so excited because I was like, yes, I need one of those, because I like the idea of unsnapping it and hooking it to the handle of the car so that the project bag that I am knitting, like my car knitting, isn't rolling all over the place and like trying to keep it on my lap or trying to use it in a cup holder, but then I don't have a cup holder, or sitting it up on the dashboard and it's always falling or whatever. Like, knitter problems, first world problems. But I thought I would try this in the car so that it just hooks to the door handle and the yarn is like always, or my project is like always there. And if I want to put it down, I can just like put it back like on the door handle. So that was the idea. I also can walk around with it, obviously, the way Natalie does. And she's shown that in a couple of her podcasts, but it was something that I wanted to try. So I grabbed one. Of course, I got one with dogs on it. Look at the little babies. They're so cute. Because all dog things in my life. And then they even have little long dogs. Little dachshunds. So I thought that was really cute. So show you guys that, and then figure out later how to use it. Actually, that's what this basket is all of my project bags. So I'm probably just going to put it up there. And then a little bit of crinkling. I got a surprise present from Christina, who I talked about earlier. She sent me a message and said, "You've got Happy Mail coming." And I was like, oh my gosh. And I had a really rough day that day, just like mentally. And yeah, she somehow knows that. Like, I don't know how she knows that, but she knows. And so she said, Happy Mail's coming. And when it arrived, I read the card, and she said she had entered a giveaway for yarn that was being dyed with Major League Baseball teams in mind. And she wanted, like, the teams that she wanted, she didn't see on the list, but she saw Chicago, and she's like, oh, red and blue. Like, it's going to be, you know, obviously Cubs colorways. And when it came, she won the Chicago yarn. And when it came, it wasn't. It's called Socks for Socks, SOX. And it is White Sox colors. So white, black, and gray. And I did not even get this all the way out of the bag that Christina sent it in before my husband was like, you're going to make me something out of that, right? I was like, she sent this to me. And he was like, you going to make me socks out of that, right? And I was like, well, it doesn't have any nylon in it. It's only 100% superwash merino. And he's like, so you're going to make me muscle burrow out of that, aren't you? Yes, husband. Way to ruin the surprise. Like, I was already thinking about it when I saw it. So, I don't know when. Not anytime soon. Because I have one muscle burrow on the needles at a time. And it's like we're going on adventures. I'm knitting at basketball games or soccer games or whatever, at my school. So I got to get that one done first, and it's just barely started. And then my husband will get a muscle burrow out of this. It is super squishy. So good. It is Dragonfly Fibers. And it is their dragon sock. I could knit him a pair of socks out of it, but because it doesn't have any nylon, I think it's going to be a muscle burrow. Isn't it so fun? Like, all that gray, black, and white. It's going to be really cool to knit him in something out of it and have him be able to wear it. Sorry, there was tissue paper. Have him wear it all winter. So I'm going to put it in here. This is sock weight yarn that is not going to be socks. So it goes in there. That's how I have this organized. This is sock yarn, going to be socks. This one next to it is sock yarn, going to be socks. This is sock weight yarn, not going to be socks. And then this is sweater quantities, or like I have a lot of it. And then down here is the heavier weight yarn. So I put it away. I know it's there. Thank you, Christina. Sean is very excited about his hat. So that's it for acquisitions. Let's do giveaway winners. Winner, because there's just one. Giveaway winner in Dog Mom Knits news. On the last podcast, I said I was going to do a giveaway for this bag, which was made by my husband, Sean, and this yarn from Ginger Snap Yarns, which is called Lakeshore. If you wanted to be entered, you just needed to do hashtag 500 in the comment, because it was my 500 subscriber giveaway. There were 24 comments that used hashtag 500, and I will put the winner up here. Barb, please email me at dogmomknits@gmail.com and let me know your mailing address, and I will get out your prize to you very soon. So thank you so much to everybody who commented on the last podcast. Thank you to everybody who congratulated me on 500 subscribers. It has been so much fun. Excuse me. I do have plans to give away some more things in August. My birthday is August 8th. So I'm going to celebrate my birthday by doing giveaways to you guys. But I'm still getting those organized. So we're not going to have a giveaway on this episode, but stay tuned, because we will in the future, for my birthday and for hitting 25 episodes. In regards to Dog Mom Knits, I have been wanting to rework the logo for Dog Mom Knits for a while. The logo that I did 2 years ago, pretty much exactly 2 years ago, I did very quick. I just kind of went online and was like, design a logo. Some website made it for me. It was very pixelated. I couldn't do a whole lot with it. So I've wanted to redo it for about a year now, and I never could kind of create one that I really liked. And then I was playing around on Canva again, and it kind of just came together. So this is our new Dog Mom Knits logo. So cute. I'm so excited about it. I did have a request to add it to the Spreadshirt shop, so I am going to do that. So you will be able to get stickers and shirts, sweatshirts, all that stuff with the logo. I have a sample headed to me right now. And then I'll let you guys know when it's available, but it should be hopefully by the next podcast. I'll be wearing the t-shirt with the new logo so that you guys can see it. And thank you so much for supporting me and supporting my little side hustle, I guess. I don't know what to call it. My crafty life. I love being a teacher. It brings me so much joy to teach, but knitting brings me so much joy too. So I really appreciate you guys coming with me on this journey and supporting me on this side of my journey. So that is it for knitting content. I am going to do some life stuff. So if you're not here for that, no worries. I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next podcast. If you are here for life stuff, let's chat. On the last podcast, I said I was reading Live and Let Chai by Bree Baker. I did finish that book. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, which is, pretty good for me. 3 stars means I wouldn't read it again. I'm not really interested in reading the sequel, but I finished it. It was fine. Then I started Dying for Cupcakes by Donna Doyle. And I did not finish it. I abandoned that book. That's the English teacher's term for it. I abandoned the book. So if you go to my Goodreads account, it'll have 1 star. That's what a 1 star means for me, is that I couldn't finish it. I found it very, I just didn't like the writing style of the author. Then I started Crepe Expectations by Patty Benning. That also only got 1 star because I wasn't a huge fan of the writing style in the main character, and I am very character driven. If I don't like my main character, I'm not going to get invested in the book. And I found myself not wanting to read at night because I didn't want to read that book. So I abandoned that one as well. And then last night I started Yarn to Go by Betty Hechtman. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I only got a couple chapters in because, again, I just started it last night, but it's a knitting murder mystery. So yeah, I'm hopeful. A couple chapters in and I like my main character, so that's a good thing. I'm still watching Project Runway. I just finished season 8, I believe it was. I still disagree with the judges on season 8. Still. All this time later, and I'm still you made the wrong choice. I finished Rizzoli and Isles and started Castle. I've seen all of the Castle episodes probably 2 or 3 times, but can you ever see Castle enough times? So I've restarted that. Adventures. So I talked about it on the last podcast that we were going to go to Pittsburgh for 2 weeks and spend time with my best friend. That is not happening. My best friend hurt herself. She ended up pulling a muscle in her leg or her groin area, whatever it is. It's really bad and it hurts really bad. And it's a 6 to 8 week recovery with 4 weeks of physical therapy. And the trip was coming right when she was going to be right after she got hurt and was going to need to start physical therapy. And it's a 10-hour drive for her and not starting physical therapy for 2 weeks. And she's just going to keep re-injuring it. And so the only thing we could do was just say, okay, we're not going. I'm hopeful that at some point in the next year, we'll be able to see each other. We were able to cancel our Airbnb, which is amazing. She is such, the person we were going to rent from is the best. And we had rented from her before. So yeah, I was pretty bummed. I mean, I think she's really bummed, but what can you do? You can't do anything. can't go back in time and uninjure yourself. So, yeah. So no Pittsburgh. Sean did end up still taking that time off from work. So we are going to be working around the house. We bought, I'll put a picture of it up here. We bought all of the laminate flooring that we need for the downstairs in our townhouse, which I talked about on the last podcast. And Sean has been watching lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of YouTube videos and asking people for help, and he feels like he's ready. So we're going to start today. In the living room, which is the room that I'm in right now. We're going to start on this wall over here, which is where the sliding glass door is and the fireplace. And we're going to take up the carpet and start putting down the floor. It's like, okay, I guess here we go. I'm so impressed with my husband and the fact that he is doing so much research and reading and watching and planning. And I am just, yeah, I'm so excited that we're doing this. I'm so excited that we're going to have the laminate floor down here. And yeah, I'm just really impressed by him and the fact that he's diving in to all of this, new territory, because certainly neither of us have ever done anything like this before. So yeah, it's our big adventure now. We're not going to Pittsburgh, but we're getting a new floor. So I will be taking lots of pictures before, during, and after. And so hopefully on the next podcast, I'll have afters. Fingers crossed. Say all the good, send up all the prayers and all the good vibes, because we're going to HGTV this house. Yeah. See how it goes. And that's really it for what's going on around here. The dogs are sleeping, as they do. I am in the middle of my summer vacation. Wait, what's today? The 10th? Okay, so a month from today, I go back to school. That's sad. That's really sad. That makes me very sad. I wish I hadn't allowed my brain to go down that train of thought. It's all good. I'm very blessed to have my summers off, so it'll be okay. Yeah, so summer vacation, sock week, new floors, lots of good stuff happening around here in the Dog Mom Knits world. I hope there is lots of good stuff happening in your world as well. The Bible verse for today on YouVersion is, "Give us this day our daily bread." And I don't know the reference, I apologize, but it's just such a beautiful reminder that God gives us exactly what we need to sustain the life that he needs us to live. And I'm always so grateful that there is nothing that happens in my life that he is not sovereign over, that he is not in control of, and that he did not see coming. So he already sees what this house looks like with the new floor. He already sees what my school year looks like for 23-24. He already sees Simon living here and incorporating into our family. What a blessing it is that I don't have to see it because he sees it. Praise be to God for that daily bread. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you in 2 weeks. Happy summer and happy knitting.